Hello there, I am Ni Latte coming your way with another edition of the honor series of the 2025 City Business Festival. If you are listening to us on radio, this is 97.3 City FM. On television, you are watching ChannelOne TV. This week, we are in our third week having a sense of how to grow a resilient SME. We are sponsored by Absa Bank Ghana Limited, MTN Ghana Limited, as well as Zonda Tech. Stay with us. When we come back, I'll tell you who my guest is and what the topic for discussion is as well. Thank you so much for staying with us. This is the honor series of the City Business Festival 2025, powered by your favorite radio and television stations, 97.3 City FM and ChannelOne Television. Today, we are delving into another area of SME growth, which happens to do with the marketing aspect of SME building. And so we've spoken about the law, we've spoken about the financing, we are talking about the marketing aspect of it now. And to help me do this is Benedict Bentil, Senior Manager at MTN Business. Benedict, thank you so much for joining us for this conversation. I want to say that we are a man of many parts, because I remember last year we were talking about the digital economy.
Yes.
Today you are here with us talking about marketing.
Yes.
Between last year and now, what has changed in terms of business operations?
Oh, I mean, as we all know, the SME segment is accelerating at a pace that we all have to try and keep up with. And technology is also moving at a very fast pace. So a lot has changed. A lot of growth, in the segment, and we are still monitoring the changes.
I see, but really, are businesses really appreciating the role marketing is playing in terms of everyday business activity?
To an extent, yes. Some segments of the SME space are adopting technology quickly to use in their marketing activities. And you look at the way they've adopted social media to drive a lot of the marketing. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram is carrying a lot of the traffic, not to the expense of the traditional media channels as well. That more largely applies to the larger SMEs who want to do above the line, yes. But a lot of changes have happened in the space.
Interesting. But how different is sales from marketing? Are they used interchangeably? Because somebody will say, I'm marketing, I'm selling. Are they using the terms interchangeably, or there's actually a thin line between sales and marketing? If you can really explain that for me.
Well, they are related, but completely different in the sense that marketing, for example, is what would lead to sales. And it's a mistake to kind of interchange them. Typically, the SMEs in Ghana are purely doing sales. And marketing opens up so much more opportunity. If you take a walk down your lane, a lot of people are selling micro retail, but none of them is doing marketing. And to an extent, they are missing out on the market. There's so much more opportunity, so much more customers they can reach if they just do a little more marketing to influence the sales. So marketing will drive sales, but it's not the same thing.
Having said that, what is marketing then? Take us to the classroom.
Well, there are many definitions of marketing. Typically, what people would say is marketing, it starts all the way from collateral, like your logo, your brand, your, things like your colors that you use in your business. There's color psychology behind that, the fonts that you use, all the way to the advertising, the kind of channels you use, and all that. So it's a whole spectrum of activities and, content that feeds into what we call marketing. But basically, it is the ability to put your brand out there or your product out there in layman's terms. I think that's the simplest way of putting it. Reaching your customers with the services or the products that you offer.
So which comes first? Is it marketing before branding or branding before marketing?
Typically, branding is part of your marketing activities, but as a business, when you start, the psychology behind your business is part of your brand. So that's where you start from. What you are selling, how you want to sell it, what kind of colors you want to use, what kind of markets you want to reach, all those things that form part of your brand. The name you even pick is part of your brand. So typically branding would be the beginning, but it's all part of the marketing activity.
So we've been talking about sales, we've been talking about, branding. We've also spoken about marketing. But, there's something called the marketing cycle or the marketing mix, for example. And so if I ask you what that entail, what that entails. It means that we are looking into the box of marketing. And so if we set up a business, we know that we are going to sell. We know that we have a brand that we identify with. And so in that marketing cycle or that marketing mix, what do I find in them? Do I see the product? Do I see the pricing? Do I see a plan? What exactly do I see?
Yes, so you see all the things you just mentioned, but it goes beyond that. It's not, the product is it's a combination of what you are providing as well as even the brand on the product. It's not just a pure product. And if you look at the channels that are going to be used, that's all part of the marketing mix. If you look at the collaterals that are going to be used, your media, content, your videos, your pictures, your logo, all that is part of one section of the marketing mix. Even the targeting that you're doing, the segmentation of your customer base. Do you understand what type of customers you're trying to serve and what type of channel speaks to those type of customers well? It's a very, very mixed bag in there. It's not just one size fits all. So within the marketing mix, you have different options per the type of SME you are dealing with or per the type of product you are dealing with.
I see you are still listening to the Honor Series of the 2025 City Business Festival. We are talking about marketing for SMEs. My guest is Benedict Bentil, Senior Manager at MTN Business. You know, you spoke about customer segmentation. You know, customer segmentation is also a whole different topic on its own. And so we have people segmenting customers based on, you know, age, based on sex, based on even the ability to pay for a particular product at a particular price.
Yeah.
What we refer to as price discrimination at times.
Yep.
And so my next question to you is, you hear people say that have a target market, have a target audience. The fact that you are producing a particular product or rendering a particular service doesn't mean that it cuts across for every, you know, customer.
Yeah.
How do we develop a strategic marketing plan? And that is what I want you to go deep into this time around.
Okay, so typically people would want to find customers for their product, but the right way to do it is to find a product for your customers. And that means that you find out pain points of maybe a particular group of people and try to solve that problem. What you typically realize is that someone finds what they are good at or a product that they have, and then they start hunting for the customers for that product. But an easier way would have been if you found a particular problem to solve, what we call a pain point, and then you develop a solution or a product for that. And that means there's a ready market for it. Now, when it comes to the segmentation, like you said, it's not a one size fits all. You don't just spray and pray. What you have to do is to understand what your product does for the people, what type of people, you know, patronize your product. And typically, even the normal SME in Ghana does not have a CRM to understand who are these customers who are buying from me, what's their age range, what's their economic bracket, you know, what are their social media activities. And that helps you to build a marketing strategy. If you understand that for example, your customer base is teens from 16 all the way to maybe 25 who are social media heavy, you wouldn't be investing your money in traditional media like the daily graphic and you know, the radio and stuff like that. You would invest in social media. So segmentation is very important. Once you understand the base that you are dealing with, even within that base, you can segment it further and say, my older base, this is how I'll reach them, this is how I'll treat their loyalty, and then my younger base I'll do more promos and stuff like that. So understanding your customer base is very important. Segmentation is key.
I see. Let's talk about the cost element in this time around. You know, a lot of people say the business is not actually making money. Why should I set aside some funds to brand, to do and go all out and do, you know, marketing? I mean, talk to us about this bit of it. Why should any business that is struggling, quote unquote, set aside funds?
Okay, so it's a chicken and egg situation where people feel sales need to come before you start getting money to advertise. But it is the marketing that will drive the sales and you get more money. And typically those who talk to startups would recommend, you know, getting some funding to start your business. But if you put that aside, there are other innovative ways that you can, you know, do your marketing at a very low cost. You look at your own phone, the contacts in there, do you have their age, their name, their birthdays, you know, the type of products that they like. And then you can do a WhatsApp group, start advertising there, of course, with their consent. And then you can do things like, you know, simple A2P messaging, which is your bulk SMS. Again, with consent, if you have a base, you can send an SMS blast to your base with information in there. And these are very, very cheap offers. There are solutions like the MTN Business Messenger that you can use to customize a message to, let's say, hello, Nathan, I have these offers available for you. And you'll be able to drive some. You don't necessarily need to spend thousands on above the line marketing. You can start small, social media. There's even this new trend where people go into a comment of a trending video and do an advert in the comment. And all those who come in the comments will see your advert. There are other innovative ways to go about this. Use your Instagram, Facebook, social media. Typically, you buy data, you browse anyway, so why don't you use it to the benefit of your business? Just do some marketing through that. And then when the money comes, you upgrade to, you know, higher above the line marketing.
Interesting points right there. But is there also a metric to assess whether or not your marketing tool is working? In fact, you go all out to ensure that you market your product, you market your services. By the end of the day, it is not translated into revenue or even sales in the first place.
Yes. So typically, if you're a more advanced or a more mature SME, you have multiple channels that you are marketing through or advertising through, you can calculate what we call the cost per acquisition on each channel. So if you look at your social media, what does it cost to bring one customer onto your service? If you look at your traditional, what does it cost to bring one customer onto your service? After a period of a few months, you'll be able to determine which of your channels is more efficient, but also determine which of your channels is cheaper. So you may be spending just 100 cedis to get 1,000 people on social media, whereas you spend maybe 10,000 on traditional media and you don't get enough converts. So cost per acquisition is one, conversion rates is another. You measure the rate at which people convert on the various channels. Things like that are what can feed into your calculations to determine what metric is the best or what channel is the best to use for your advertising.
Benedict Bentel is Senior Manager at MTN Business. He's joining us here on the Honor Series of the City Business Festival 2025, talking about marketing for your SME. When we come back from this break, we'll be talking about the consistency with which SMEs must go when it comes to marketing, and also look at how MTN is helping businesses shape their marketing strategies. Don't go away. You're welcome back. This is still the Honor Series of the 2025 City Business Festival here on 97.3 City FM and ChannelOne TV. We are talking to Benedict Bentel, Senior Manager at MTN Business, laying the foundation for us when it comes to marketing. We've spoken about the tools, we've spoken about customer segmentation, and also that strategy to help your business turn around when it comes to marketing. Our next leg of the conversation actually is going into customer preferential treatment when it comes to marketing, because you know some businesses will go all out to ensure that you become a special customer. And what goes into it, how do you benefit from it, and what disadvantage it creates for other businesses as well. I'm asking this particular question because you know consumer behavior is changing. The next time a business treats you wrongly, you prefer not to go to that business again. If you are treated right, you go in for that particular business the next time and that particular service. And this creates some form of, you know, dissatisfaction. At what point do you say that marketing is a bad tool? Because, you know, some businesses, no matter who you are, they will treat you perfectly. At other point in time, you go in there. And I don't think marketing is all about the brand. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Even how you are being spoken to.
Yes.
Customer service.
Yes.
It's a key element of, you know, marketing.
Yes. So
Talk to me about that particular part.
So customer experience is almost like free marketing for you. People tend to talk about a good experience they've had, but they even talk more about a bad experience that they've had. So every bad experience from a customer, you risk your brand, because that customer can get on social media and tell other people not to patronize your brand. And you may have underestimated the effect of this, let's say 10 years ago. But today we see that effect where people can boycott a brand just because an influencer has said this is a bad brand. We've seen it happen for food brands and, you know, hair, all sorts of services. So customer experience is free marketing. Just give the customer a pleasurable experience. That customer is a referral to their family, to their church, to their friends. And basically, when they even just repost to you that they had this awesome experience there, guess what? Their friends also want to go there and have that same awesome experience, whether it's a service or a product. If the product is packaged well and the person takes a picture of it, posts it on their status, this gives you good traction. So customer experience is almost a default now when it comes to a good free marketing channel for you. Just do it right and the customers will promote you.
How should businesses be taking feedback from customers and consumers?
Okay, so that's one thing that SMEs in Ghana typically are missing out on. When you deliver a product to a customer, and sometimes that's it. You order something, they deliver it to you. They don't ask, just click this link and give me feedback, or even give me 1 star. Was the delivery good? Was the product packaged well? This, when you do this over a period, you're able to build statistics. You're able to even determine this particular delivery driver is not giving my customers a good experience. Let me swap that customer. So every interaction you have with your customer, you have to measure that experience if you can. Use a digital channel if you can't, you know, directly engage the customer. Maybe even in the receipt, you can add a link. Click here to, you know, give us a sense of the experience you had. And that information can help you change your product, improve it, or even promote a particular part of it that customers like.
But do you also feel as if some businesses market wrongly? And I'm asking you because I want us to do a very quick exercise. So for example, I'll give you a social media platform. Which marketing techniques or even products or services go to each of these, you know, social media platforms? I'm not sure Facebook will be a marketing tool for any kind of business, any kind of products.
At the moment, it's any kind of business, any kind of product, but certain products do better on Facebook.
So explain that bit to me. So for example.
So an example would be you wouldn't, typically people wouldn't go to Facebook to get legal services.
Okay.
However, if it's a quick turnaround, if it's a logistics thing, you buy and they deliver to you, people will do that. If it's a service that people can do referrals on, so maybe this salon or maybe a restaurant, stuff like that, typically Facebook is very good, or even just shoes, clothes. We realize a lot of e-commerce is happening on Facebook. So when it's e-commerce and it's services, promoting services, Facebook is good. But when it comes to a lot more of the critical services, like maybe legal issues, stuff like that, ideally Facebook would not be the best, but still you can still get business on Facebook. Facebook is kind of like very dynamic. Yeah.
What about X?
X is where you probably have a referral link that can take you to a landing page. I would recommend doing stuff like if you have your own Instagram page or your own social media page, your X post can link, someone can engage that and take you there. Also, if a service that requires a lot of engagements, feedbacks, comments from customers, X is the best place. But X it's a double-edged sword. It's the same place where people can crucify your brand on. So
you can make you and make you.
Exactly. You need to be a little more cautious. And you have to have tough skin to be able to do that there. Just make sure you provide the best experience possible.
Maybe the new kid on the block, TikTok, is it a place where people can also go in and market as well?
So yes.
But I know Instagram is doing quite well when it comes to marketing.
Yes, so video content, again, Facebook was the originator when it comes to video content. Instagram and TikTok have rapidly taken over. So where you can show a video of an influencer visiting your restaurant, your hotel, you see it happening now, almost your entire feed is littered with influencers saying they visited here, and you know, you feel like, okay, you see the video of the place, you see the video of the experience or something like that. Anything that there can be an experiential, you know, session with a video. IG and TikTok are killing it right now.
I see. So what are some of the biggest mistakes that businesses are making when it comes to marketing in the wake of, you know, social media and marketing tools?
I think the biggest mistake is not targeting. I think that's the biggest mistake. And this is for the more matured SMEs who are not really defining their customer segment.
Maybe they are struggling to do that. Maybe you can help them with some solutions right here.
Oh, yes. So there are quite a few tools that you can use to determine. So if you look at the kind of traffic that's even coming to your social media feed, or even the followers you have, if you are using a business page on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, you're able to segment and see the kind of followers you have. Then you know those who are interested in your product. How many people are liking? Then you know they fall within female between the age of this and that. And then next time you do an advert, you target that base instead of just spraying across. I think that's the thing that most SMEs are making a mistake with, just advertising without targeting. But for the lower SMEs, the mistake they're not making is not advertising at all.
I see. Yeah. Interesting point you make. But, you know, in your estimation, is there a time frame where marketing starts and ends? I'm asking because of the issue of consistency. Because you get to see a lot of businesses market today, tomorrow, they are no longer marketing their product. They think, quote unquote, they've arrived. And so, well, I'm not going to sell my product again because they say that the best good sells itself.
Okay, so it never stops. Your marketing strategy should never rest because the world is changing, the market is changing, it's very dynamic. What was popular yesterday is no longer popular today. I think the trending thing now is Labubu dolls, and it used to be Stanley's. So you have to constantly change how you do things. Don't let your product peak and rest. If it gets to a point where you feel your product is peaking, you need to reassess the base. Is there something else they are switching to? Is there something that they want that you can use to enhance your product? And you only achieve that by constantly engaging your base, and that's where the feedback comes in. If you just throw the ads out there and you're not measuring the sentiment back, you do A/B testing where you test a particular color, test another color, which one are people responding to more, then you change your strategy. So it never rests. Your WhatsApp status shouldn't rest. Your social media channels shouldn't rest. Even your friends shouldn't rest. You should constantly be gauging sentiment and advertising. You should not
you know,
take a leave
thinking
on.
about this whole subject matter, it just occurred to me that usually when you talk about marketing, it's all about product. Little is said about services, which is also one aspect of market. So service marketing, for example. And so I just want to know if there is a difference when it comes to marketing for products. There's a difference when it comes to marketing for services, or both can be used anyhow, any day, anywhere.
No, I mean, all the channels can do both products and services. However, when you look at things like influencer marketing, services are kind of more validated by an influencer, so an experience they had. Whereas when it's a product, they can always say, oh, this is nice, but the customer has to buy it to experience it. I don't know if you understand. So a service, usually a customer would come to you to experience that service or reach out to you or access a service. A product can be bought and delivered, and you know where people have bought a sofa and it came and it was actually something like this. So the product...
Just today, I saw a post on social media. Somebody said he ordered, a headset. It was only the head that came. The set didn't come. So I think I get where you are going.
Yes. So the product has to reach you before you experience it. However, when it comes to services, the influencer can make you feel what they felt or tell you what they felt.
So it's more of experiential.
Yes, exactly. But definitely both are still trending on all the digital channels. People advertise both.
And at what point in time does influencer marketing come in for an SME? Is it at the early stages, medium to long-term goal? Because nowadays it appears as if, influencer marketing is also, one of the things that a lot of SMEs are doing, or businesses, if you like.
Okay, so the mistake we make is we assume influencer marketing is a scary concept. Even from the beginning of your business, the most popular person in your family is the influencer.
I see.
The most popular person in your area is the influencer. If you give that person who is the most popular person in your class a particular product and they tell the class people that or something, immediately you are getting traction. So influencer marketing starts at the beginning, from your church, your family, your friends. That's where it starts. Now, when you get to a more mature level, you have to be careful about picking the influencer because the influencer has to speak to the type of base that you are serving. You don't go and take someone who is not related to tech to do something related to tech.
Just because the person is popular.
Yes. However, we have super influencers. These super influencers, regardless, they have almost a cultish following, where regardless of whatever they talk about, their followers will go and try it. So if that influencer, I won't mention a name before I get in trouble. If that influencer says, I want you all to try this new drink, the followers will try it, although he's not a drinks expert. Or I want you all to try this new phone. Although he's not a phone expert, his people. So there are super influencers that cut across the segment.
Really great point you make there, Benedict. But now I want us to come home. And when I say home, I mean MTN Business.
Yes.
What package do you have for businesses this time around?
Okay. So for MTN Business, I think now as a technology company, we've covered almost every facet of business possible. Now, from the beginning of your business, if you bought, let's say, the yellow base package, that package comes with internet connection, but it also comes with a website. So within 48 hours, you have an AI-generated website. You also have what we call the Unified Com Service. That gives you an IVR. So immediately someone calls your line, they hear, welcome to Nathan Company Limited. Press 1 for sales, press 2 for technical, whatever it is. And then you also have what we call, how do I even put this? What's the term to use? Okay, so let's say that's the yellow base, starting the business. Unified comms, IVR solution, website. So immediately you're advertising. You have all these solutions. And then you also have your Microsoft account as part of it. The Microsoft gives you your Outlook account. You're able to send official emails, PowerPoint, everything, all in one package. Then if you go to what we call our mobile advertising service, this is where you can do targeted advertising. So you pick the segment that you want to target, let's say women between the ages of this and that, and then you're able to send targeted advertising, of course, with consent-based. So you don't just now abuse people's phones with adverts, but it goes to the right segment who speak to your particular service. We have other services like the Messenger and the Engage service where you're able to do A2P messaging. So you can set messages for your base. That's why I said, know your customer, know their birthdays, their first names. So on their birthday, a message goes out to them. Hello, Nathan, we have these new products in stock. Happy birthday. You can pass by and pick up. And this is all done from the comfort of your phone or your laptop. And automatically, the message goes on the customer's birthday. They see your ad, they see, a name that they relate to, and they're able to purchase more of your services. So these are a few of the marketing-related, solutions that we have. But basically, from when you have the concept to start the business, your logo, your website, all that stuff is part of the yellow-based solution. Then when you advance, you can get the mobile advertising service and the messenger service or the Engage service.
And this cost will be very affordable for any business to afford.
It is so affordable, it is unbelievable. Just reach out to MTN Business. And any solution, like smallest SME to the largest, we have solutions for all of them.
Thank you so much, Benedict Bentil. He is Senior Manager at MTN Business, speaking to us here on the Honor Series of the City Business Festival 2025, talking about marketing for small and medium-sized enterprises. This edition was powered by 97.3 City FM as well as ChannelOne Television, sponsored by Absa Bank Ghana Limited, MTN Ghana Limited, and Zondatech. My name is Neat Latte. Thank you so much for tuning in. Catch you some other time. Bye for now.